So I'm here with Jen from Jen's Uncommon Critters, and today we're going to do a spotlight on her reptile rescue.
So hi, I'm Jen, and we're going to give you a little tour of our rescue and education program. We are a foster-based rescue, so a lot of these animals are here with us in our home, while some are out with some of our fosters as well. So we're starting off in the original reptile room, which is where our hobby started. And in this room, we have a whole crew of animals that are our personal pets and featured as a lot of our ambassador animals when we go out for education programs. So this guy right here is Pied, one of our ball pythons. He is about 8 years old, and he actually was just out for a birthday party today, so he's in for the evening to get some rest. And then around the room, we have some other friends. We have our bearded dragons. This is Mufasa. And then down we have Samantha. That's Cap, actually. Samantha's to your left. And then we also have up on top our old man and our OG bearded dragon who started the whole process. This is Scar, who is now retired. He is our 10-year-old dragon.
What's up, Scar?
On the bottom, we have our blue-tongued skink. That is Groot. And a little leopard gecko. To the right is Leona, but you probably won't find her because she is probably hiding and sleeping right now.
In the back over there.
So our personal long-term animals, we have most of them set up in bioactive because it's easy for us to run. When we bring in animals for the rescue, we start out on a quarantine process, so a lot of them will be with keeper cows.
So I know why you keep them on paper towels, but explain to people why you do quarantine on paper towels.
So paper towel quarantine helps us to check for several things when we get new animals in. So the first thing we do is when we get a new animal in, we do a once-over health check. And we look for any health issues. We look for any obvious health problems like mites or just needing to be cleaned up. We give baths. And then by putting them on paper towels in the enclosures, it allows us to continue to keep an eye out for any other mites or issues that might arise. It also helps us to gauge when they go poop or urate. It lets us to see if there's any concerns with that, if there's any like markers we need to watch out for, if it's really runny, if it's really dry, if there's any concerns there health-wise.
Awesome.
We have some invertebrates that are also part of our program over here. You can see, oh, this is one of our corn snakes. She's hiding for the night already. And then the last one, but not least, is our personal crested gecko in her bioactive there. She's hanging out on a branch.
That's a really cool enclosure.
Yeah. That one was actually created by Hendershots.
Yeah, Hendershots makes really cool enclosures.
So this room is the continuation of our ambassador animals with one exception, who we'll show you in a minute. And this is where you'll see some of the animals that have been with us or will be with us for a while, including some who are working on handling before they come out for education programs. So we have Scavenger, our Euromastix, in his bio. One of our boas, Oreo, tucked up in her log there. Nice and tight. So then we've got, this is Slate, Oreo's brother, also a boa. And then our, somewhere in here, he's probably tucked in further bit, is our Rosie boa snake spear. And then one of our leopard geckos, Kalua.
I really like these enclosures. So you were saying that people donate the stuff that's in the enclosures to you?
In several of them, yes. So some of them we have set up. Some of these were before we actually became a rescue, when we had our own collection going. But we've had, as animals come in, we get donations of enclosures and supplies. So we use them for some of the animals as well. And our fosters, we can send some of those out to them. So it keeps everybody in proper enclosures, proper setup, lots of hiding places and things as well.
That's so cool.
And with the bioactives, this is what we do for our long-term residents, our personal animals, and when people are interested, we can help educate on how to set these up as well. It just gives a nice bit of enrichment to the animals and helps them feel more comfortable because it's more native to what they would have been in the wild.
Absolutely.
So this is Rango. Rango is a Jackson's chameleon, and this particular species of chameleon, the males have the 3 horns, give them a triceratops kind of look. These guys are awesome animals. These are definitely not a beginner pet. There's a lot that goes into maintaining humidity and heat. And for this particular species, nighttime temperature drops down into the 50 because that is more of what happens in their native mountain homes. So he is actually one of our adoptable animals that has been with us for a bit. and he's just kind of a really cool, unique friend.
That's cool. So people could actually adopt this guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
So this is Bud. Bud is an Argentine black and white tegu, and he is about 7 years old. Bud came to us 1.5 years as a ambassador sanctuary animal, and he is just kind of a very chill, lay-back guy. So here in his enclosure, you'll notice that he has his basking, and this is 130 degrees. He's got his dig area. Although it's not a traditional enclosure, because when he came to us, he had never been in an enclosure before, it still provides him with all the necessities he needs to help him with his sheds and to keep him healthy and regulate his heat and his temperatures as well.
He is a really cool animal. So he's an ambassador too, you said?
Yes. So Bud comes out to a lot of programs and a lot of birthday parties and things as well.
How often are you guys doing programs?
We have at least once a month, we have some sort of a program going on. And then we do birthday parties, scout events. We do community events as well. So it kind of depends our calendar. We try to keep that updated so people can see what we're working on. One of our big things coming up is a fundraiser at Manor Hill in February.
What's Manor Hill?
Manor Hill is a brewing, Manor Hill Brewing. It's a farm brewing area, and they are in Columbia, and we'll be there February 16th. I have lots of information on our website about that.
That's super cool. So Jen, I was wondering, what made you want to get into rescuing animals?
So we started just because we wanted to have some of these animals of our own. My niece and nephew had a birthday party, and we attended it with a lady who does birthday parties, and it was a blast. Our children loved it. So then we had another one a couple months later for them. And then our oldest daughter was set on the fact that she had to have a snake. So then we got a snake and a crested gecko. And as happens when you are a reptile lover, we got a few more and a few more. And anybody who would listen to us talk about them, we would tell them all about everything we've learned. So my mom and husband encouraged me to consider doing parties and things myself as a teacher and an animal lover. And so we did go forward to looking into that. We had a couple family friends who were interested, and then more community members became interested. So we were going to start a sole proprietorship. And while we were getting all the paperwork together, we had several people ask us to take in animals. And that's when we realized that there was a need for rescue. So we shifted gears. We incorporated our company instead, formed a board of directors, and then went for our nonprofit.
That's super cool. You guys have quite a support system, I saw. So you have other people that foster animals as well.
Yes. So we have a very supportive board. Our families are really supportive too. And then we have built a great group of volunteers and fosters, and we're always looking for more help with that as well.
Wow. So if you guys want to foster some animals, contact them.
Yes, please. We'd love any extra hands.
So you said this one is Salazar?
Yes. So this is Salazar. He is a Russian tortoise. We do not know how old he is. He was a stray that came to us, but we figure he's probably somewhere close to about 5 years old.
Okay. How long do these live, do you know?
80 years or more.
Wow, really that long? So if someone got a tortoise that lives for 80 years and didn't want it?
There are a couple possibilities. So he was actually found in a school parking lot in July, and the teachers had come back for some trainings, and they were leaving for the day and found him. He was actually the second one found at that school. The other was Helga, who you'll see in a minute. And there are two possibilities. Could have been a matter of they were released, because these guys can live outside in the summer, but they're not native species. So releasing them can do damage to the environment. But they're also known for being escape artists. So if you build an outdoor enclosure for an animal like this, you actually have to sink the sides into the ground. They can dig 2 feet or more underneath of things and get out and go off on adventures for themselves.
Wow.
So either they escaped or they were released.
So if someone wanted to surrender an animal to you guys, how would they do that?
So the first thing we would ask you to do is contact us. Give us an email or a message on social media, and then we will reply back and let you know what our status is. If we are full, we have a wait list that you can go on, and then once we have an opening, we will contact you again to let you know we're able to take in your animal. Once we're able to do so, then we have an intake form you fill out, and then we set up a drop-off time.
Cool. I'll link all your guys' stuff in the description so people can do that if they want to. So we got Romina here.
So Romina, as in Rowena Ravenclaw, you'll see her Harry Potter theme here. She is the other tortoise that was found at the same school in Virginia. So a gentleman was walking his dog and looked over, and she was walking right beside them. He recognized her as a not native species and contacted us. And when we got both Rowena and Salazar, Helga, this is Helga Hufflepuff. When we got Helga and Salazar, they came, we contacted the local animal control. The school that they were found at helped us reach out to the community, but they were not claimed, so they became part of our program.
That's cool that the guy actually recognized that it was a non-native species, because a lot of people wouldn't know that.
So he actually had his own tortoise. So he had a box turtle actually, and so that's why he knew that they were not the same kinds.
Destiny right there. So the last tortoise was actually Helga. This one is Rowena.
Yes. So we had Salazar Slytherin, Helga Hufflepuff. This is Rowena Ravenclaw.
Harry Potter, cool.
Yep. And she was an owner surrender that came to us. So we do know that she is now about 12 to 13 years old.
Wow.
So she is also a Russian tortoise, just like Salazar. Females do tend to be larger than males, but that's how we know he's not nearly at the same age as her as well.
So here we have Chomps.
So Chomps is a male bearded dragon. He is one of the largest male bearded dragons we've gotten in. He's just over 22 inches long and over 700 grams. He is a healthy guy, and he loves to perch up on his log and his rocks and watch around. Now, Chomps is in a 4x2x2 enclosure with 2 hides on each side, and he has actually a non-adhesive shelf liner on the bottom because he would tear up the paper towels just by running back and forth. So this is another easy way to keep the enclosure clean. Since we know he is healthy with no major issues, this was a good move to upgrade him from paper towels to this.
He's living good.
So this is Sneck. Sneck is one of our ambassador boas. So he's one of the 4 that we currently have here at our home. And Sneck came to us as an owner surrender and turned out to have a really awesome personality. And he is a slightly different species than Oreo and Slate. So he's a little bit smaller, but he is one sweet guy. And you can see he has a semi-bioactive enclosure. So he's got like the nice bedding that he can burrow in, around, and through, and lots of hiding places. So this is one of our adoptable ball pythons. This is Alfredo. Alfredo was a owner surrender to a breeder friend of ours and then came to us so that we could help to find him a home. Alfredo is a laid back, sweet kind of guy. He likes to eat, but only about every 2 weeks. And he just kind of does his thing and spends a lot of his time curled up in the corner taking a nap.
He seems awesome. So you guys could actually get Alfredo.
Shmeko the gecko. Shmeko came to us back in the spring of 24, and he is a leopard gecko. He is 9 years old, and this guy, it's kind of hard to see right now because he's in his hide. Now he is a leopard gecko who has dropped and regrown his tail, and he does have one funky back leg that was injured and healed. He uses it fine even though it was previously broken, and has all use of his toes, so there was no need to do any major surgery or anything to it. He gets around just fine. He's a sweet guy, an active guy, and he loves to explore when he's out of his enclosure.
So he's available too?
Yes, he's an adoptable.
That is awesome. So I know a lot of people buy leopard geckos as like an impulse buy. Is there a certain type of reptile that you guys see most commonly?
We get a lot of bearded dragons and leopard geckos in. A lot of people don't realize that leopard geckos can live for 20 years or more. And so you get this little lizard thinking he's going to be a short-term one, and he's not. While they're not super difficult to take care of, it is important to have all the right supplements, all the right lights and things. And they are insectivores, so you do have to deal with insects with leopard geckos.
For sure, and they eat a lot.
They do.
Yeah.
You have to also be careful not to overfeed them because they will eat anything in front of them. So this is Jeremiah. Jeremiah is a 11-year-old African bullfrog.
Wonderful name.
And these guys can live upwards of 20 years. He came to us as an owner surrender and will stay on with us as a sanctuary animal.
That is super cool.
So this is Oscar. Oscar is another male bearded dragon. He's another big guy measuring out at just about 22 inches. And this guy happily is going to be going to his forever home in about a week or so. So he's actually finishing out his quarantine period first, and then we'll head home.
That's cool that you guys make sure that they're all the way healthy before you get them into their forever home.
And then down here, this little friend who has wrecked her house. This is Elizabeth. And Elizabeth came to us recently. She is a about 4-year-old female bearded dragon, and she actually just had a vet visit to get her checked out. So she is doing well overall. We're doing a precautionary treatment for parasites just because she is a little underweight, so we want to give her every good chance to get her weight back up, and we're giving her proper setup and getting her back on track so that she will soon be available for adoption.
I saw that you guys are offering like a promo code with your vet.
Yeah, so we work with Pender Veterinary Center. They have an awesome exotics department, and they did give us a code to share, so you can find that on our Facebook page. and we highly recommend them. As far as vets go, we always say to look for an exotic vet that has good recent experience and updated knowledge base. Pender is an excellent one. There's also Stahl or Sieves that's also in Fairfax, and they are two of the ones that we recommend.
And that code can get people 20% off, right?
I believe so, yes.
That's awesome. Okay, we'll link that.
So this is Banksy. Banksy is a female bearded dragon, and also happy to say that she will be going home to her forever home here very soon. Her family is getting their tank completely set up and ready to go for her. So she is one of our friends that will be heading out soon.
Beautiful.
This is Snowy. So we have Snowy, and she is part of a trio of ball pythons that were transferred to us from Montgomery County Animal Shelter, who we have partnered with. And they brought these friends to us because they had been with them for a little bit, had not had any interest, and needed more specific care than they were able to offer at that time. So Snowy is a female ball python, and she has had a great shed with us and has eaten small adult rats, and she has a really fun, kind of just relaxed personality.
So this one is Sleet.
So Sleet's the second of the weather trio, and Sleet is believed to be a male ball python. He recently just had his first shed with us, and he is a little pickier with his food, but he is eating adult mice.
They can be sometimes. That's cool.
That's the thing about ball pythons. And the final one of the weather trio is Misty. Misty is also a male ball python, and he has eaten small adult rats as well and had 2 sheds for us since he's arrived.
Very cool. He's an overachiever.
Yes. So this is Petrie. Petrie is a corn snake that is up for adoption. He is actually in shed at the moment, so he's got himself tucked in nice and tight to his hide there. And this little guy is a fantastic eater. He will eat 2 adult mice a week or more if you would let him, but he thinks he's a garbage disposal, as they often do.
For sure. So who is this fella?
So this is Icarus. Icarus is a sun glow boa.
What a good name for a sun glow.
Isn't he awesome? And he actually was donated to Jen's Uncommon Critters for the education program. So he will be coming out as one of our ambassador animals in the near future. Right now we're working on getting him to eat regularly, which he has eaten intermittently. We're just figuring out his schedule since he's joined us, and a good shed in before he becomes part of our program.
He is absolutely beautiful.
Thank you. He's a sweetheart too. He loves to explore, as you can see, and check out all of the things.
Do you have an idea of how old this guy is?
I believe he is about 8 years old. So he is a former breeder boa constrictor who is now retired.
So basically a breeder donated him to you guys just to educate?
Yep.
That is awesome.
They were done with the breeding project. They decided to move away from boas, so he is now in our program.
That's a great use for a former breeder.
So we featured some of our adoptable animals as well as our animal ambassadors. And for those who are curious, our adoption process does have a few steps to it. And the main reason why we do that is to ensure that our animals are going to end up into a loving long-term home, because some of these guys have been through enough in their life at this point. So if you're interested in adopting from us, your first step is to check out our website, and you can see all of our currently available and coming soon animals. If you find someone who catches your attention, then we encourage you to either fill out the application or reach out to us for more information. Once you've completed your application, we will schedule an online interview with you via Google Meet. And from there, if everything goes through and you are approved, we then ask you to have a completed setup and send us a picture. That picture should include an index card with your name and the date to verify that it is an actual enclosure and not just a picture off the internet. Believe it or not, we've gotten those. And then once that's all completed, we schedule for pickup for your new friend.
For sure. So I've asked you guys this before, but what is the perks basically to adopting an animal from you guys rather than just going to a pet store or a breeder or something like that and just buying one?
So some of the things that are a positive of adopting an animal from us is you're giving an animal who's already maybe been through enough or bounced around a bit a home. And these animals have been quarantined, checked for health issues, when necessary, taken to the vet, and given a clean bill of health before going up for adoption. And then we also are happy to help you with all the information you need to build background, have full knowledge for care of the animal, get a proper setup going, and then once you've adopted them, you are part of our rescue family. You can reach out anytime for help, questions, or just to give us an update on how they're doing.
That's major. Where else can you get that? So who are these guys?
So these guys are two of our adoptable guinea pigs. They're actually our only two currently adoptable guinea pigs. This is Rotini and Treyumi. And yes, we do work with furry animals as well. The uncommon goes for both furs and scales. So these guys were surrendered to us from a previous family. Guinea pigs were not quite what they were expecting as a pet, so they decided they would be better off in a rescue situation to hopefully find a new home. So these two little guys are somewhere between 2 and 4 years old. Guinea pigs generally live between 5 to 8 years. So they're kind of middle-age-ish, I guess you could say. But they're very sweet. And if you heard any of that a minute ago, they're all very excited because they think it's time for a snack. Guinea pigs are quite communicative. They love to tell everybody about what's going on. And they are very social animals. So pairs are always encouraged. So these are Brownie and Marshmallow. These two guinea pigs are animal ambassadors. So some people probably have seen them out and about. They're two of the largest guinea pigs we've ever had come through our door and two of the most social. Most guinea pigs are very shy because they are prey animals, so they're used to thinking everything wants to eat them. These guys have been handled a lot since they were tiny little guys, so they are very used to people and being part of programming.
You said they did a birthday party today?
Yes, they did. We had a birthday party for a 7-year-old today, so they were out being social and getting some love.
Awesome. So who is this fella?
So this is Max, or Maximus von Thumper. He is our nightly thump master. You can hear him upstairs in the evening. He will pick up the door of his enclosure and drop it so that you don't forget that he's down here. Max is one of our animal ambassadors. He is a French lap rabbit. And Max was actually a rescue that we got before we started our rescue. We adopted him from the Frederick County Animal Control. Hi, buddy. So we have no idea how old he is. We do know that he is an adult, though. So these are 3 of our sanctuary guinea pigs. Peanut and Yelena came to us from, I'm sorry, that's not Yelena, that's Nugget. Peanut and Nugget came to us as, Peanut was a one that we took in as an adopted animal long before we started our rescue. Nugget and Snickers were surrendered to us as single piggies. Even though Snickers came with another pair, they were not bonded. And so we introduced them to the guinea pigs here and they formed their own little group. Now this little group has over time evolved to include a lot of different guinea pigs. We've had in this is kind of our community corner, we've had anywhere up to 5 in this colony of guinea pigs that rotate through over time.
I like their setup right here.
Lots of hidey spots, lots of hay and snacks available. It's almost time for nighttime snacks and they're well aware of that. So they're waiting to see where the lettuce and things is.
It's a very stimulating environment you give them.
Thank you. Last 2 sanctuary animals have been with us for quite a while. This is Hershey. Hershey was formerly an ambassador and has since retired. He is about almost 6 years old at this point. So he's living the good retired life.
Munching on hay.
Oh, yes. Amada is our last sanctuary piggy. She was one that we adopted several years ago, and she is over 7 now. And so she is just chilling out, living the quiet life as well. This is Gizzy and Chili. These are 2 female chinchillas that were transferred to us from another rescue. They've been in rescue for quite a few years now. They're just 2 shy little girls that have been bonded with each other for several years. And chinchillas are really cool pets, but a lot of people are surprised to find that they're not super cuddly, even though they're super sweet and super fluffy. Some are not as social with humans as others. They are very social animals, especially with their own species. But if you have a single one, sometimes they do bond with people a little more. They love to hop, they love to climb. This enclosure is a vertical enclosure with wood panels because it's safe for them to chew on and gives them lots of enrichment places to explore.
I've heard they can stress out kind of easily too.
They can, and they're also not great for handling because they are kind of fragile. If you were to grip them by the middle, you could crush their ribs. So the best way to handle them is actually at the base of their tail, and then give them a solid place like your chest to lean on if you're holding them.
They're definitely cute animals to look at and see move around in their enclosure.
So this is Queso. Queso is much more standoffish to humans. He is not used to being handled with people. He is not super fond of people. He is slowly warming up to us, but as you can hear, he's letting us know that he's not super happy with our interactions right now. And so, like you said, these guys can be a bit shy. They can easily be stressed out. And depending on, don't know his background at all, but depending on what they've been through, some of them just would prefer to be left be, to just live and be happy and have things to play with.
For sure. Do you slowly build a bond with them sometimes?
We can. Our youngest, Leighton, is our Chinchilla whisperer. She has been known to help some of the more shy and people leery chinchillas slowly build up a trust with people. She will just sit beside the cages sometimes to read so they get used to her presence. We had one who was adopted that she actually was able to be handleable. She would come out and sit with her as well.
Does a lot of working with them involve food?
They can. They do like treats. They love we use the little oxbow treats for them because they're healthy and they have greens and things in them. But just giving them pellets and things is a big part. And goji berries is an occasional snack we also give them.
I like people that bring food also. She said this guy's name is Jax?
This is Jax. Jax has been with us for 5, almost 6 years now. His owners had to move out of state to a place where they weren't going to have room. He actually had a friend who has since passed away, but he is a very active, very social buddy. He actually is really good at helping welcome new friends, and he has helped with a couple of pairs that have come through. And he is 9 years old about. These guys can live upwards of 20 years.
That's super
He
cool.
loves to bound around and explore. He'll come out and be social. He's been with us for quite a while.
He's a great example of why to get a chinchilla, because watching him jump around is super cool.
And Benny is somewhere between 4 to 6 years old. He's another chinchilla, little male. He is a sweet little guy. He prefers to be able just to run around and do his thing. We did try to actually introduce him and Jax to be friends, but they preferred to be on their own. He will come out and let you socialize with him, but he's good.
Do males sometimes cohab, or?
You can cohab males. You don't ever want to cohab males and females. You will end up with kits.
Wow.
Yep. But females do cohab very well. A lot of males do as well. Unfortunately, Benny originally came with 2 others who have since passed away, and he just was not ready to have a new friend. So we let him kind of do his thing, and he has really become much more social with us as well now.
That's understandable. So they're not really territorial at all.
Not too bad, no.
That's cool.
Can you get him? So this is Pippa, Willow, and I just blanked on the other one. These are sugar gliders. Mocha, Pippa, and Willow. These are sugar gliders. Sugar gliders are a small marsupial animal. They look like flying squirrels, and when they jump, they will glide a bit through their cage. They are a really neat animal, but they're also very high maintenance. These are definitely not a beginner pet. They have a lot of requirements and things that are necessary for them to survive and stay healthy. This bonded group of girls has been with us for a bit over a year now, I believe. And as you can hear, they're not particularly fond when you mess with their beauty sleep. So that is one of them telling you that you are messing with her and she wants to go back to bed. She is not very thrilled with you. They are very nocturnal, very chatty. And at night, you can hear them running around, bounding and chatting with each other as well. In their enclosure, you can see that they have lots of things to climb and jump on and explore, as well as hide in. They do eat lots of greens and vegetables and fruit. So every night, this little kitchen is filled up with food for them, and they have a special formula that provides all the vitamins and minerals through a milky type substance as well.
I see why people would get these, because they're cute and then not realize, what it entails to take care of them.
Yes, there's a lot of work, and some of them are quite social. And one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is that they are very, very social animals. They need to live in groups with one another. They can bond with humans, but they do a lot better when they're with their own species.
For sure. So do your research, guys, before you get anything. So thanks so much. This has been an absolutely wonderful tour. So how can people find you guys? How can they donate to you, etc.?
There's a couple different ways to find us. You can find us online at www.jensuncommoncritters.org, and that's Jenn with 2 N's. We're on Facebook as well as Instagram, and any of those ways you can contact us. We have email links on our website as well. And then as far as donations go, you can donate through a couple different avenues. We have PayPal, Venmo, Zelle at the moment until that closes in April. And then we have fundraiser links on our website, on our Facebook page as well. And we also have a link tree that'll get you to where you can donate not only with money, but also we always have open to donations for supplies as well.
So that'll do it for our Jenn's Uncommon Critters tour, you guys. That was absolutely spectacular. Big thanks to Jenn and her husband Brian for having me over. And these guys really are running a top-notch reptile and animal rescue, you guys. They go through the most to make sure that the animal is well taken care of. And these animals are not only just in a transition period, you know, waiting in some mediocre enclosure, but they're waiting in big, well-furnished, well-put-together enclosures and are very well taken care of. I would say that this is definitely an amazing reptile rescue. And if you're thinking of giving up an animal that you can't handle, reptile rescues are the way to go. And if you're thinking of getting a new pet, you should definitely be considering a reptile rescue like Jenn's Uncommon Critters. Go check them out. All the links are in the description. Donate. Anything that you guys can do will help. You could even send supplies and cage decor. So you have a wonderful day and take care.